today our guest is Sonia Bashir Kabir, and welcome Sonia Bashir Kabir and all the participants from around the world. And this is our first event from Asian Network of Youth Volunteer Society. And our guest, she is very popular and very well known in Bangladesh, and not only Bangladesh, in South Asia and other countries as well. I just like to introduce in a short, and Sonia Bashir Kabir is a technology investor. She is focusing on tech startup in emerging markets of South Asia. And she started her career as a technology professional, and her journey led to become the technology entrepreneur. And she is also the founder of the SBK Tech Venture and the SBK Foundation. And as we know, Sonia Bashir Kabir has served as the managing director of Microsoft Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, and Laos. And she is the only one person from Bangladesh serving Microsoft in such a many countries as a managing director. And she was the director of the Dell Bangladesh and the director of the business development of the Southeast Asia. And currently, the UN Secretary General, the Antonio Guterres, renowned the Sonia's appointment as the governing council member. And Sonia has been reappointed the vice chair of the UN, United Nations Tech Bank, for the 2019 to 2022. So without further ado, I would like to Sonia Bashir to talk about herself and how the technology can be changed the career, especially for the youth. And I will ask, my first question would be how your journey started, because you studied for a long time in United States of America. You served more than 20 years in the Silicon Valley. So how the youth can be inspired, and what would be your suggestion for the youth, especially for the women, those are working in Bangladesh and South Asia, how they can prepare, and what was your journey until now? Apa.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Roshidul Bhai. A very good afternoon and hello to everyone who has joined. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here and share some of my experiences. Hopefully you will find that valuable. My journey started, my educational journey started in technology in Silicon Valley. I finished my high school in Bangladesh, and then I moved to Silicon Valley, where I did my Bachelor of Science degree and MBA. And, you know, I was not a student of sciences. I was actually a student of arts. Those of you who study in Bangladesh know that the metric HSC and SSC, you have to choose a track. So if you choose to be in the arts, then you continue in the arts. You cannot suddenly change into BUED or medical if you have a HSC in arts. So I had that opportunity in Silicon Valley. My husband is a tech professional, and when I moved to Valley with him, everybody was either a computer scientist or an engineer. And then that's when I tried to challenge myself and say I would like to actually shift to the sciences. And I have my Bachelor's of Science degree in mathematics. That's what I studied. I think one of the things I'd like to share is that we all should really take a lot of challenges, and we should dare to dream big, because dreams come true. So believe in your dreams, and that has been my journey throughout. I'll try to keep my answers short, Roshidul Bhai, so that you can ask me more questions.
Yeah, actually, it is not asking question and answer. I think we can have an interactive discussion. Like when we start working with the digital village or e-village, I really learned so many things. I think you are the most inspiring women in Bangladesh, and you started so many innovation and new ideas, especially the Microsoft Young Bangla Award or Microsoft Young Bangla. You organized, I think, the first time in Bangladesh. So how you are managing your time, because you are managing your family, you are managing your business. I know you are doing so many social work. Also, you are serving as a different committee member, expert member in different organization. You are also with us in One Bangladesh. My question always is how you are managing time. So what is the reason behind, or anything hidden behind this managing your time, Abba?
Thank you. I don't know if I have the right answer, but I'll share my answer with you. It's just everything I do, I really enjoy doing what I do. So whatever capacity I work with you, Roshidul Bhai, you are inspirational yourself. And even when I give time to One Bangladesh or other projects that we have looked at together, it's about being passionate, and passion drives the energy to manage all your tiredness and all the limited hours in a day. So it's very important for us to be true to ourselves and honest to ourselves, and only chase those dreams that are fueled by our own passion. If we fool ourselves and chase things that are not of a passionate, our passion doesn't drive, then it's very difficult to be successful. It's also very difficult to be happy. And I think one of the most important things I'd like to share with you is that if you are a happy person, your inner happiness will drive everything. So it's important to be honest to ourselves, look at who we are, what are our strengths and our weaknesses, and where do we engage. We always want to engage, and you play to win, you never play to lose. So in order to do that, you kind of do a self-assessment and then drive your passion towards your career.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. So what would be your suggestion for the younger, those are studying bachelor or even just finished master, those are looking for job? So how they can prepare themselves to be a tech guy or tech person or tech women like you? So how they can prepare themselves? So what they should learn for programming, for like image editing, whatever it is. So what would be your suggestion from all the stream apart from the computer science? So how they can prepare themselves to be a tech person in future?
So one of the advice that I give to people is by opening my statement saying that, technology is an enabler. It can sit under any subject matter or any vertical and help. So whether it is cooking, whether it is e-commerce, whether it is building robots, whether it is teaching, everything has an underlying need or dependency on technology. And then there are two kinds of people in technology, and I kind of make it a very simplistic word. There are the producers, and then there are the consumers. The people who produce the technology are the techie people who are thinking about how to solve a problem and bring a solution leveraging technology. And those who are users, like most of us are, we say, what can technology do in my field to help me make it faster and better? So one of the advice that I give to students when I work with them is, whatever you are doing, try to be curious. It's very, very important to inculcate a sense of curiosity, and try to understand what's happening. And then Google is so readily available. We hear of the buzzwords like the metaverse, Web 3.0. Just go and learn, and you will not learn in one day. Don't worry. Take it in little bits and pieces and absorb as much as you can, because one day, while you're absorbing and you're trying to do what you want to do, one day the two will connect. What you learn about what technology can do and what you actually do in your professional life or in your educational life. At some point, they will convert and converge. But in order to do that, you have to be knowledgeable. And that's why it's saying that whenever you hear of something new, don't get scared. Just go and search on it and try to get the simplistic version. And you know how people say that intelligence is the ability to make complicated things simple. And that's what we should all be doing. We learn in a simple way, and we also teach in a simple way. So it's very easy to share the information. So one message is, please be curious, understand what is happening, and at some point it will weave in your life and your career and your education and give you a path. So work towards that journey.
Yeah, thank you, Appa. I just received one question from Jannatul Naim Jerry. She is asking you, what are the challenges of shifting from arts to technology-based career to you, Sonia Appu?
So, the biggest challenge was overcoming my own fear. Because, if you're an art student and then you say, oh, I'm changing tracks and moving into some new track, the first thought that crosses your mind is, আমি কি পারবো, or will I be able to do it, right? So ভয়কে জয় করা, and to overcome your fears, and then say, bite the elephant one piece at a time. When you look at an elephant, it's huge, but if you say, okay, one piece at a time, you will be able to get to the whole thing. So believing in yourself, atmoshanman, atmobishwash, self-respect, self-belief that that I can do it. The important words are, I can do it. And you need to always believe in yourself, because no matter how hard the problem is, there will be a day you will crack it. But you must have that patience. You must have persistence, never give up on giving up, because there is no such option. And just follow your dream. Every time you fall, you will fail. We all have done that, and we will all continue to do that. But every time you fall, rise higher, jump up higher, and be ready for the next fall, and you will win.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. I just heard this about you are also the board member of the UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. And I know you were the first woman who won the ICT Business Person Award, and also the one of the 10% globally received the Microsoft Founders Award. And you are also judging so many startup ideas and innovation. So my question always goes to you. What will be in your mind if, let's say, from our if we organize a innovation award, so what would be your mind to judge the startup or the projects? Will you focus only the innovation, or is there anything else how you are judging with all those innovation? That's the like from myself, I judge in something else, more on academic perspective. But how you are judging the ideas?
That's such an important question. Thank you for asking me, Roshidul Bhai, because one of the things, so what I do is I'm a venture capital now, and we fund startups that we have three things we say that are important to one. One is you solve problem of the masses. Solving problem of a small group of people is not interesting. Solve problems of the masses. Number two, leverage technology. You must solve with technology. And many people ask me, why is technology so important? And the simple answer is because technology helps you scale. It helps you go from 10 people to 10 million people in seconds. That's important. And the third important thing for me when I judge startups or innovative projects is this project or is this innovation creating a transformative impact? Impact is a very important thing, and especially for us, we're very lucky to be in a time like this in Bangladesh now, when the world economy is slowing down, our economy is very strong. We have the ability to solve a lot of the problems we all see for the masses. We can leverage technology and we can create an impact. So when I judge an innovation, it's not just about the tech component, it's how real is it? Will people use it? Why will people use it? Does it solve their problem? And does it solve a problem and create an impact in society? These are three things we look at.
Yeah, thank you. Abba, I received the question from Tanjin asking how do you do self-assessment, and is there any procedure for that? So it's very important question, I guess.
Yes, it is. And I'm so glad you asked me, because that's something I do on a daily basis. I know I'm a little bit crazy, but I have this spreadsheet, and this is something I learned from childhood and I carry it on today, that every day I try to list 5 things I'm proud of that I did during the day and 5 things that I need to work on. And one of the things could be anger management. It could also be self-control. But if we kind of do an inward assessment, we're so busy assessing everything outside that I think we fail to look inside. And that's an exercise that has really helped me develop myself as a human being. I'm not perfect. I know I have many faults, but it's important to know your faults. It's important to be constructive in your criticism and say, okay, this is my weakness, this is my strength. Let me make my strength even better, make it sharper and more valuable, and let me work on my weaknesses. So what you do is you balance, right? If you're strong and you're weak, you kind of come halfway and pick one thing that you're not proud of and one thing you're very proud of, and just go and try to do a self-awareness journey leading to self-improvement. And that's some advice that I really give to a lot of youth, that it's important to be self-critical. It's important to be aware, and it's important to have the desire to improve or develop yourself.
Thank you. So I received another suggestion or question, like Jannatul Naim Jerry. She is asking, like, sometimes I can quote, sometimes I feel like that I already crossed 30. Still, I'm stuck with the old based study and complete my master's. Even I am continuing my MPhil. Is it too late to start?
it is never too late to start. And, you know, I was really inspired because I studied in the United States. And when I was what they call a freshman, because remember, I finished my high school, my HSC, and I went, so my first year in university is known as freshman. There was an 80-year-old man.
Are you from the Vikarannesa, right, Appa?
Vikarannesa College, yes.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. So there was an 80-year-old man with me in my first year. And I was so intrigued because I couldn't believe that I am studying with this person because, you know, we're used to 80-year-olds as our grandparents. So I asked him, and he said, I've always wanted to have a college degree. And now I'm pursuing my passion. And, you know, I still get goosebumps when I say that, but it's so important that you never, ever, ever let your age be a factor in your life. Age is only a number. You are as good as you feel. You are as young as you look. For women, definitely look young and feel young, and don't worry about age at all.
Yeah, that's so nice. It's really appreciated. And another, that's I just crossed the subject or area. I just found that you are also, I think, working with the Bangladesh Cricket Board, especially the women wing. And also you are the member of the Abahoni Women Games Development Committee. So it's found very interesting because I never knew that you are in the cricket team of the Bangladesh cricket, especially the women team. I just, when I was studying about you before this program, I was really interesting to read about this. Can you tell me a little bit how it started with the playing cricket apart from your all those journeys?
So, you know, one of the stories I always share is I grew up with two brothers. So I didn't have a sister. I never had a doll. I always played with my brothers, and we used to live right opposite Abahani field, which is a field in Dhanmondi. So my brothers would go to play there every day, and that's what I did. So I was always going there to play. And that's how I got involved in cricket. I used to play with them, and they used to say, "Meder moto khelo, you play like a woman with a tennis ball." And I said, "No, I want to play with a real cricket ball." And at that time, because I lived in Dhanmondi, there was a women's sports complex, Mohila Krira Chatra Jeta. And that's where I went and I learned you know, how to play cricket. I was part of the first national women's cricket team, and we were in Abahani cricket. And I've also played volleyball. I played volleyball for Abahani for 6-7 years, and then we played in the national team. So it's really because I grew up with brothers, and I didn't have a barrier in my mind that, oh, I'm a woman, I cannot do this. To me, everything was possible, and my family encouraged me. I never felt that I cannot play. So these are two games that are very close to my heart, and I was lucky that after many, many years, I got to be in the cricket board and the Abahani Games Committee. It brought back childhood memories. So I think sports is very important, and I pursued that. And one last comment that, you know, sports teaches you how to lose graciously. Because, you know, every time you lose, you never kind of cry, "Jami keno harlam," or "Why did I lose?" What you do is you focus on the next game and say, "I'm going to win that." And that's something I apply even today, that what is lost, you cannot change the past, you can change the future. So work on that.
Yeah, that's true. So that's from, not from the others. I have another question from myself. Like whenever I always talk to you, I feel I'm inspired by your, you know, speech, or we are always positive, very positive. But I'm really stuck. Sometimes I become so frustrated or so angry when somebody say very negative to me. Sometimes I become, you know, very devastating. Like I scold immediately. It's sometimes it's my nature. But I never see you in the angry face in my whole life. Even everyone is telling Sonia is always smiling. But when you become angry, let's say somebody is speaking something very wrong in front of you in the meeting or anywhere. So how you can control, like what you're thinking? Have you ever feel like, oh, this guy? So how you can control in that moment? Because every time differently will not tell you everything positive to you, which is acceptable. So in that situation, how you can control or overcome in this particular time?
Thank you. That's another interesting question. It's something I've had to work at, Roshidul Bhai, and I've learned over the years. I'm much older than you, so the years of experience have taught me that silence is very powerful. So when you disagree, when you are being insulted, or when you're being questioned and you are, or when you're put into a negative situation, the rule number one is do not engage. Step back, disengage, just be quiet. And I think that when you will observe this, and I have seen that happen in my life, even in my married life, right? If I argue with my husband or if I fight, then it doesn't solve a problem. As soon as I disengage and I'm quiet, the other person worries that why aren't you saying something? With silence is very, very, very powerful. And that's something I've had to learn. And I think now I have a little bit of control that when I'm losing my temper or my patience or my positivity or my courage, I disengage and I choose to be silent. Silence is extremely powerful. It conveys more messages than you could with words.
It's true, but it's my own experience, like for even in the family, like definitely when we talk together, like যখন মানে ঝগড়া হয়, যখন আমি silent থাকি, if I become more silent, it's become my opponent become more angry. And this is a different issue. They কেন কোনো reply করি না, কেন এত silent? So how you can control in that situation? You become more devastating in this sometime.
That is hard, so it's worked for me, but I'm sure the same formula doesn't apply for everyone. But overall, the formula is when you disengage, you are not emotional. And the whole idea is to control your emotion, not your words, right? So if you can control your emotion, you will react in a different way to the same situation. So silence for me works, but it may not work for you, Roshidul bhai, but maybe there's another way that you can. The whole idea is not to be a slave to your emotion, because that makes you do some wrong things.
Yeah, that's true. So someone is asking, I think from Nepal, Tekraj Bhatta, happy to hear Sonia's word with so much inspiration. I want to explore the horizon of knowledge, but the time management is a big problem for me. Though I have reduced my bedtime, it's still becoming hard. Could you please recommend me more tricky ways that we can do to complete the pile of works in shorter time?
I can share what I do, and I'm not sure if it will help you, but I'm happy to share that one of the things that has helped me become experienced in developing myself is I do meditation, right? And I don't do hours and hours of meditation. We don't have time. It could just be 5 minutes where you do some breathing and you close your eyes and you control your mind and you calm yourself. And then right after that, do something you enjoy doing. Somebody likes singing, dancing, reading, cooking, whatever it is. So meditate to align your inner self and then choose what gives you happiness for even 10 minutes. So in your case, if you want to learn more, I would say just start your day with a very calming your nerves, and then just do 10 or 15 minutes of what you like to do, and then go, and we all have responsibilities we have to meet, but then just start the day with something that gives you a lot of happiness. And if it's a quest for knowledge, please start it with understanding what's happening.
Yeah, so it's like somebody is again, I think the Jerry is again asking the question is also is similar to you. Like she is asking to you, I feel so nervous whenever I present something formally like Viva, presentation, and many more. Do you feel this kind of nervousness, Sonia Apu? If no, what drives you to be so confident? If yes, how you recover it?
So, I obviously in the beginning, in school, I took public speaking where they do debates and all. And I still remember in the first one, my feet were lit, because you go in front of so many people, there's a microphone, everybody's looking at you. My feet started shaking, my head was dizzy, and I was thinking I'm going to faint. And I'm thinking, okay, what is the least embarrassing way for me to run out of this room and not be noticed, but didn't happen, right? And I made a lot of mistakes when I delivered my speech. Obviously, it was not very successful, but I had a very good debate instructor, and he noticed what happened in me. And here I'm this athlete. I play a lot of sports. I'm playing volleyball. I'm playing cricket, but then again, I'm being very nervous. So he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I got nervous." He said, "What was it that made you nervous?" So there are specific things that actually make us nervous. We need to know what that is. What made me nervous was the crowd. When I saw so many people looking at me, I got nervous. And he gave me a very interesting tip that I still apply till today. Before I go to go on the podium or in front of people, facing people, he said one thing, that imagine all of them owe you money. They haven't been paying you for a while. You're going to go stand up there and say, "Pay up or I'll beat you." So it's kind of
Good.
a little, and it worked. It's a very simple thing, but
Yeah.
it struck me and it worked. It's all about how we position the situation in our mind. If we position the situation that I'm at an advantage level, I'm looking down and saying, hey, how's the weather down there? I'm closer to the sun. My attitude and my body language changes. So it's all in our mind. And I've said something earlier, is how to overcome our fears. We all have different fears. It's important to acknowledge them and overcome them and be consciously doing that. Nobody's going to do it for you, and you will not be able to do it in your subconscious. You bring it out in front, face it. And I have to share that the best definition of courage that I've read is look at fear right in the eye and say, get out of my way. I've got things to do. That's courage. So be courageous and face it, and then the nervousness and all that will go away. It will take time, but you have to actively try to do it. So I'm very much with you. It happened to me, but I just kind of kept, so persistence and resilience. Keep pushing yourself, and you will master in one day. Some will do it in 3 days, some will do it in 3 months, but at the end of the day, you will do it.
Yeah, I think Appa, I can add something, because I'm always confident if I speak somewhere, everywhere, no matter what the topic is. What I follow, I think I can give some input to Jerry. What I follow, I am the only one who is speaking, and no one will stop me during my speaking. So what would be next that I know no one know. So it's like that I confident I feel. Even if it's PowerPoint slide, nobody knows what will be in the next slide. Only I know what is in the next. And if I did some mistake during the presentation, I never fear. Whatever I speak out, I just feel like, okay, it's gone. So I'm just waiting for the question at the end of the presentation. I never think before or during the presentation. That always I follow from even from my childhood. So that's my, I think, Sonia, you are right. We have to stare at the fear and we can tell them, oh, go away. So that's one issue. And I have one interesting, normally I was it's motivation speaker in Malaysia and Philippines and some other country. I have an incident in, there is a national football team in Malaysia. They're going somewhere and they hire some of the motivation speakers. And while I was stepping up on the dais, I fell down suddenly. It's automatically. And I stood up. I was a little bit nervous. আমি উঠতে গিয়ে ধাম করে পড়ে গেছি, পড়ে গিয়ে সাথে সাথে I stand up and started, you look, you can fall down, you have to stand up no matter where it is. And everyone is thinking it was real, I was making a drama. সবাই মনে করছে আমি এটা নাটক করছি, but I was really nervous যে আমি যেতে গিয়ে হঠাৎ এবং এমন ব্যথা পেয়েছি, still there was a pain on my knee for 3 to 4 days. So I think it's a habit. You are right, Appa. Definitely it will take time sometime. And you have another question. I think you have already spoken regarding this. The question comes from Noor Jahan Akhtar. She is asking, how can I enhance my soft skill and how can I manage my time? So
the managing time is it's choose to do what you enjoy to do, and there are a list of things. We make a list, right? I'm a big person on Excel spreadsheet. That's how I manage my life. Is you make a list of what you enjoy doing, what you do not enjoy doing, and then there is a need to do. We all have certain responsibilities, whether we like it or not, we have to do. So that list is always there. But then take time to find out what you enjoy doing and give yourself a little bit of that time. No one is going to do it for you. Time is not going to come to you and say, okay, I'm free, what would you like to do? So this is an active effort on our parts to know what gives me happiness and to find that time. And if you begin with 5 minutes a day, you will slowly see that you can do up to an hour a day of what you like. But begin the journey. Just keep that in your calendar. If you have a phone, if your calendar on your phone, give 10 minutes to something you like to do every single day. And you will see it changes the quality of your life. And also it makes you want to do more of what you like to do. And that all leads to wonderful time management, because it's all about your mind, right? At the end of the day, whether you are rushed, whether you are patiently waiting, whether you feel you have 24 hours in a day, whether you feel you have 48 hours in a day, or whether you feel you have few hours in a day, it's all controlled by the mind. So trick your mind, train your mind, and everything else is just labor.
Yeah, that's true. I do the same thing, but I just note it down all my activities, and then I put the weightage, which is most important, and either I have time or not. But I have one question, Appa. Like, let's say you have a deadline for submitting one proposal or doing some job for 2 days, but always I feel like plan A, plan B. If I become sick, and that has to be done by myself, but for example, if I become sick for tomorrow or day after tomorrow, how you will make an alternative solution? Who will be the alternative of me for submitting this proposal? I don't want to lose the chance to submitting. So how we can manage this time? It's happened to me in many times due to my sickness or due to my busyness for other work, sudden work, I could not submit many proposals in time. So what is your suggestion, not to everyone, also a suggestion to me, how we can suggest me, how I can manage?
So, Roshidul bhai, I face exactly what you face, right? So, one is to accept that we will not always be 100% successful. That's something I've learned to accept, that yes, I want to do everything on time. I want to be there every time somebody asks me to, but there are times I will not be able to deliver. And it's okay to be a bit lenient on ourselves, but I learned something from you where you've said whenever you plan, you always have a plan A and a plan B. I don't do that. So that's something I've learned from you, and I will do that. That what is my plan B if I can't do this? So thank you for that. But it's important to realize that we're not perfect. And over my years of experience, I've not only realized that, I've accepted it as well. There will be times I will fail, and there will be times I will let people down. But as long as it is done with honesty and not the intention to fail or to cheat people or let them down, it's okay. We're all human, right? We need to give ourselves a little bit of leeway to say sometimes it's okay to be sick. Sometimes it's okay to meet or miss a deadline.
Yeah. So I'll just remind me something like when one of my project, the e-village or digital village was lingering in the ICT division or ECNIC. And every time you inspiring me, you were always telling me, okay, wait, it will happen. Definitely it will come. And it comes true. And thank you so much, Sonia. You give us so many inspiration to so many people, including myself. And I was waiting for this discussion for a long time. I think we have another question, and we're almost the end of the event. This question comes from the Ramesh Rana from Nepal again. The great discussion, ma'am. My question is, nobody knows how much time they have. So how much time we can wait as a patients? Because every plan may not be successful. So I think you have already discussed this issue, but can you add some more words?
So yeah, I agree with you definitely that we don't know how much time we have, but one of the things that I've learned is live for each day. Don't live for yesterday and don't live for tomorrow. Live for today. Do the best you can for today. None of us will be very happy with how each day is, but just try to live for today, and then let the world and let the universe take you forward. Because it's not possible to control everything, right? But it is possible to be happy. And it's very important to be happy with whatever you do.
Yeah, thank you, Appa. I have the last question from you. Like, so many youth have started very nice initiative, very nice startup, online business, e-commerce platform. They started in a very good. I have seen so many cake shop, online cake shop, or they are selling product in Facebook. But after 6 months or 1 year, many of the startup you will not find in reality. So why this thing happen, and what is your suggestion to continue this kind of initiatives? This is the last question from me. And if anyone asks any question, the last question will take, you can write it down, you can text in a chat box. And this is last question from my end, because Sonia, I know she is busy and she is having another appointment. So my last question, why so many startups started, but we cannot get all those startups in the reality?
Yeah. So in general, the rule is, because I lived in Silicon Valley and the VC, the venture capitalists taught me there that 1 out of 10 succeed in startups. So everybody will not succeed. But I think the most important thing to do is to solve a problem. What does a startup do? Number one, it solves a problem. Do not solve a problem that has been solved before. Do not solve a problem with the same solution that people have used. Solve a new problem, solve a problem no one even knows. So the phrase is when you try to meet the unmet and the unarticulated demands of a society, you are going to be successful. And what do I mean by that? Unmet means that the problem has not been solved. Unarticulated means I know there's a problem, but I'm not able to articulate or talk about it. There are a lot of problems. Bangladesh is not you and me, right? So if you look at our country, 160 million people, those of us who are in Dhaka are not Bangladesh. People who are outside Dhaka are Bangladesh. They don't know how to communicate what their problem is, but there is a problem. So a good startup founder will identify the problem which has not been communicated even, but it's felt. So it's important to, going back to one thing I said earlier, inculcate a sense of curiosity. Be curious and say why, and then solve a problem that has never been solved before with the most innovative solution. And last but not least, it will never succeed if it is a problem for 100 people in a country of 160 million people. It has to be a problem for 100 million people. Pick a problem that solves the masses, leverage technology, and try to create a transformative impact.
Yeah, it's so difficult to find out that kind of problem, especially from but this is really true. If you can solve the problem for the hundreds or thousands of people, definitely it will work. So the last question from the General Secretary of Asian Network of Youth Volunteers, Nobonita. She is asking, nowadays, sometimes we are going anxiety, depression, and work environment is not supporting. In this situation, what can we do?
So, stress, anxiety, these are all very difficult things, and we will face that, right? There is no other way around it, and we will all at some point be facing anxiety, panic, stress, and it's not easy, it's not fun, but the whole idea is to have control over your mind, have control over your body. So this way, one other thing that I really tell a lot of the younger people I work with is you must exercise. And I'm talking about physical exercise, right? Because exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins are hormones that make you feel good. So exercise is not just about being physically fit, it's also about being mentally happy, and endorphins help you do that. So to answer your question in a long way, is just take it easy. There will be times when we will be down, there will be depression, but be in control of the situation. Understand that this is happening to you and proactively try to improve your situation, because nobody else will.
Yeah, thank you. We have another question. Sorry, Appa. This is from the Facebook Live, and she is Fatima Tashrin. She is asking how I can understand what's the secret of your energy. So she is asking the secrecy of your energy, how you can get so much of energy.
That's the reason I chose to work with youth, because when I'm in a session with all of you young people, when I'm in a session with startup founders, everybody is young. What I do is I draw your energy into mine. So it's important to be around people who are full of energy and who are full of positive thoughts, want to do good things. I draw energy from people, to be honest with you. Yeah. Even Roshidul, he gives me a lot of energy because his brain is so fertile. He has 100 ideas a day. So he gives me a lot of energy as well.
Yeah. So I really learned so many things today, especially from you. And I think somebody is asking the last question. Is Jerry, can you ask the last question while I discuss? That's the last one, because we are running out of time. You are really true.
May I speak in Bengali, sir?
Yeah, sure. বলো।
আচ্ছা, এইমাত্র সোনিয়া আপু আপনি বললেন যে মানে যখন হচ্ছে আপনি ইয়ুথদের সাথে থাকেন তখন হচ্ছে ইয়ুথদের এনার্জি গুলো হচ্ছে যে আপনাকে ড্রাইভ করে টু বি মোর এনার্জেটিক। সো আমরা মানে এই ক্ষেত্রে কি করতে পারি, যখন আমাদের চারপাশে হচ্ছে যে যে ইয়ুথ গুলা থাকে যারা হচ্ছে যে এনার্জেটিক না এবং তাদেরকে এনার্জেটিক করা উচিত, সেক্ষেত্রে আমরা কিভাবে ওদেরকে ড্রাইভিং করতে পারি টু বি মোর এনার্জেটিক?
এটা না আরেকটা প্রশ্ন জিজ্ঞেস করে, যেটা আমার খুব প্রিয় একটা কাজ হচ্ছে, যখন আমি ইউথদের সাথে মিশি অনেক সময় আপনি ঠিকই বলেছেন, অনেক সময় একটা রুমে ঢুকলে বোঝা যায় যে that there is not enough positive energy, it's very dull, it's very boring, right? That's when people like us who can sense the energy in the room or in the environment should trigger activities that ground energy, right? For example, if you are in a room with 15 youth and you see that they're not even interested, don't do what you're supposed to do. Challenge everything and do something fun. Just say, today I'm supposed to discuss, like for me, it's happened when I've gone in and I'm supposed to inspire and mentor startup founders, and I've gone in and said they're not inspired at all, right? They're so jaded, they've had tough times, their startup is not working. But you know, laughter is free. Telling jokes doesn't cost you anything. So what we do is change the energy in the room by some small activity that will make people bond with each other. And when you have that human networking or the human connection where people can laugh or cry or share what's bothering them, you have a very powerful energy going there. And that's the level that we should be playing at. It's like, get the energy into a level where it's powerful and they can relate with each other. We cannot live alone. We're all surrounded by family or friends or colleagues. Try to weave in their emotion and understand and drive that energy.
Thank you so much, Apu.
Yeah, thank you. We are really running out of time, and thank you so much. And Rimesh Rana from Nepal was asking the translation of the last question. It was like, if the negative, the people or young people with the negative energy, how we can cope with the negative energy. I think the true leader, I can remember the one definition of the leader, the professional leader. A true leader always create a new path and leave the tails. So Sonia, they summarized that the best leader you are in, one of the best leader you are in the Bangladesh, especially in a technology field and the business field and professional field. You are asking, or you are suggesting, always create a new path. Don't follow the path which is created by someone else, and leave the tails for others to follow. Thank you so much, Appa. I personally learned so many things. We had a long discussion, almost 1 hour. I think our young people, those are here and those are in Facebook Live, they are also asking from the live, and you are answering all the questions. Thank you so much. We want you again and again with the Asian Network of Youth Volunteer Society. And thank you everyone for participating in this excellent career talk. Every month we are organizing the career talk with mentors. So today our mentor was Sonia Bashir Kabir. She is excellent in speaking, excellent in profession, and we can say the excellence of excellence. So thank you so much once again, and thank you everyone, and goodbye today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Goodbye.